find this stuff, Mark?
It's you too. New Year's Day. I thought it was appropriate.
New Year's Day. And it is New Year's Day here at Enemies of the State. Tom Trento, your host, WSBR Radio, broadcasting out of Boca Raton from North Miami to Palm Beach. And we're on internet television, theunitedwest.org. We hope everyone had a wonderful New Year's Eve. And now that you're listening at 4 minutes or so after 4 o'clock, we have to set the clock here at some point on January 1st. We thank you for tuning in. We have a special feature today and tomorrow, the first and the second Thursday and Friday for you. We reached out to some of our newsmaker friends and asked them to come on the show, do Skype interviews, and simply share 2 questions. We're going to ask 2 questions. They're going to share their thoughts. And the first one up to launch our New Year's 2015 series is a true American hero, dear friend of ours, General Tom McInerney. General, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great, Tom, and how are you?
We're all good down here in sunny and hot Florida. We're looking for a phenomenal 2015. We fight the bad guys, and I think there's a lot of work for both of us in 2015,
Definitely.
wouldn't you say?
More than enough.
Yeah, more than enough. Well, the question we have for you is you're out there. You had a distinguished career in the Air Force, now a distinguished career in the private sector, fighting some of the same battles. What do you see in 2015 for you personally, one of your resolutions? What would you like to share with our audience?
Well, I would like to destroy ISIS, radical Islam, now, or the state of ISIS, will not destroy radical Islam in 2015, but we can destroy ISIS or the Islamic State. And the reason I say that is very simply, Tom, when Norm Schwarzkopf headed up Desert Storm, we defeated Saddam Hussein, who had 600,000 troops, with a 44-day air campaign and a 100-hour ground campaign. How long does anybody really think, if we really tried, that it would take us to defeat 30,000 troops? And I believe that we can do it in 2 to 3 months. We have far better assets than we did back in the early 90s when Norm Schwarzkopf launched his attack on Saddam Hussein. And all I can tell you is we can do it if this administration wants to do it. So defeating ISIS, the Islamic State, is very important that we do that. That's my wish for 2015.
Okay, that's admirable indeed. But let me turn this a little bit. That is, like I said, an admirable objective, a resolution for our national security sector. But how about Tom McInerney, the private guy? I mean, do you want to read some more books, lose 5 pounds, learn how to cook Italian food? What do you want to do as a person in 2015?
Well, I'm a little different probably than a lot. I don't have those personal goals, Tom. My goals are for this great nation. I just finished reading Killing Patton, and it reminded me of the days when I grew up and the nation was dedicated to a stronger America. And that's what I want to see, is a united America, an America that retrieves the old values that we had of duty, honor, country. What can you give to your nation, as John F. Kennedy said. And so those are the ideals that I would like to see us get back. We don't have an administration that is focused in that direction. But mine are not personal goals. Mine are goals what this nation, which I love so much, what we can do as a nation.
Okay, I got one last question for you. We have about a minute left, and the question is a geopolitical prediction in 2015. What do you see on the landscape for this globe?
Well, unfortunately, I see a stronger Iran in which they will be virtually at a nuclear capability, and this administration lets them do it. And that is the danger, the most dangerous thing that can happen to us a failed Russian state could happen to us. But I think Iran is the most dangerous threat that we have in the Middle East. And that is a prediction that I see, that they will be virtually with a nuclear capability, won't go public, but they will be there.
All right, General Tom McInerney, we thank you for taking time on our January 1 show 2015. Sir, may God bless you indeed in your work in this coming year. And we look forward to working together side by side, fighting the good fight. We'll see you now.
And this is a step up from Fox News correspondent, I'm
That's
sure.
right, it is, let me tell you.
It is.
You've
As
reached
do I,
the pinnacle.
Tom. You guys are doing great work.
Hey,
The Lord's work.
one team, one fight. You take care. Happy New Year.
Right.
Happy New Year.
Right.
Happy New Year.
All right, guys, guess who we have next?
Who?
We have Damon. I don't know about Imam Abdullah. Let me ask Imam Abdullah.
Okay, yeah. that'd be
Hey,
great.
Imam Abdullah, do you like Daniel Greenfield, Sultan Kanish? Do you like
Oh
him?
my goodness, Tom, I hate that man very much. In fact, I often refer to him as the Ayatollah of Islamophobia.
Oh, what about you, Damon? What do you think of Daniel Greenfield?
He is probably my favorite author in the free world.
Well, there you have it. In our studio, Imam Abdullah
right.
doesn't like the guy. And let's bring him on. Daniel, are you there?
Yes, he is.
Hey, how are you?
Or about the rest of the non-free world. Living in New York, that's a real issue these days.
You're not kidding. That's a real issue.
I'm not sure we're the free world anymore.
Well, we
How about
are
just in the world?
in the world. Yeah.
Just the world? What about Mars?
Some people think I live there.
Yeah, we'd like to send some folks to Mars. We're spending money on going there, actually. Hey, this is our beginning of 2015 year, and we've assembled a group of newsmakers, writers, people that are unique, friends of ours, and we want to ask you a couple of questions, Daniel. First of all, your resolutions as you stand at the doorway of this exciting new year that may unfold in unbelievable ways, 2015. What are some of your personal resolutions? What do you want to accomplish personally?
Well, impeaching Obama would not be an altogether bad thing, but somehow I don't think that's in my power, so I'll settle for something more modest. The Southern Poverty Law Center named me a one-man hate group. I really would like to hold on to that very special status because, it gets me into all sorts of places, bars, clubs.
On our show, right?
A one
Yeah.
man. No, wait. Seriously, are you listed by the SPLC as a hate group? A one man hate group?
I was, as a one-man hate group.
Oh, wow.
Also
Yeah,
listed me
right.
and a bar sign, so I'm not sure they were kind of drinking when they were making up that list.
Well, I'll
Well,
drink to that.
Were you also included on Islamophobia.org's list?
Yes,
Probably.
yes, right.
I can't keep up with all of them, but I was nominated by a Muslim group in the UK alongside Barack Obama and Dick Cheney. I didn't win, but it was just an honor being nominated for Islamophobia.
If you go to the, I think we're under T. If you go to the SPLC,
Yeah.
their directory of hate groups, you'll find us there too.
Yeah.
Because I guess if you tell the truth, you're a hater in this world.
Well, if we
today.
bring a hater on to our show, then that's probably how we got the designation.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got a supreme hater here.
That's
so
right, a supreme hater.
We're hater by default.
Look, you gave us some serious stuff. Get rid of Obama, impeach him, SPLC. It's New Year's. We're lightening up. Don't you want to stop drinking Coca-Cola or walk a mile every day? What do you want to do as a person?
As a person, well, I would like to be on the show another time.
Booked.
Buck.
We can do that.
See, that was easy.
That was
easy.
easy. That was easy. What about lose 20 pounds?
If I lost 20 pounds, the doctor has some objections to that.
You would not be visible to the screen, because it
Yeah,
is
I mean,
20.
I wouldn't be able to be on the show.
There you go. But your writing will speak volumes for you. Let me tell you. How do you write so prolifically and so uniquely? I mean, your use of simile is amazing. What do you do? Take a moment and walk us through Daniel Greenfield's muse. When the muse grabs you, what takes place?
Well, I have three secrets. One, I drink a lot of Coca-Cola. Two, I don't sleep. And three, I read all the news there is, and we'll just boil that down into a heaping crazy mess that it really is.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
The secret to success.
We
Yeah,
took
but
a
I
look.
do a lot of those things, and I can't write 2 sentences.
Yeah, the
Have you
writing.
tried switching to Pepsi?
The writing thing is you're missing out on that a little bit,
Yeah.
Damon.
I'm going to start with the alphabet.
Daniel, that's your resolution. What about your prediction? What do you see geopolitically worldwide happening in 2015?
I think 2015 is going to be a lot like 2014, except more so. Obama is going to increase the pitch of his imperial presidency. ISIS is not going to be beaten as easily as some people have predicted. We're going to see, in fact, new ISIS, new Islamic mini caliphates popping up. And the West is going to see that its response has been insufficient. We're going to see a lot more domestic lone wolf attacks. We've been seeing a bunch of them already. This isn't cheerful stuff, but unfortunately, this is some of what's coming our way in the new year. But the good news is that more and more people are also going to wake up, because once a problem becomes more extreme, more people realize that something has to be done about it.
And on that happy note, we will let Daniel go. And do we have somebody that can bring some good news? Do we have anybody lined up for us here?
Good news? The
Yeah,
people that we deal with?
We're usually the one that
Good
just.
news. Well,
Yeah.
you know, de Blasio does have an NYPD bodyguard, so you know all sorts of people.
On that note, that ironic note, we will say goodbye to Daniel Greenfield, the Schulman Journalism Fellow over at David Horowitz Phenomenal Freedom Center. Daniel, you take care and have a wonderful new year. All right, we're down here in South Florida, but we're going to go north a little bit to that very fascinating place called The Villages. And with us is Aileen Milton. She's the president of the Villages Tea Party, and they have a website, villagesteaparty.org. We have been up there to the United West speaking several times, and Aileen is doing a phenomenal job. Here's an individual who takes seriously the United States Constitution, the principles upon which this company was founded, and she puts these words and beliefs into action. Hi, Aileen. How are you this new year, 2015?
Hi, Tom. It's great hearing from you today. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and we are just astonished at the work you do up there in that city, basically. We got 2 questions for you. Number one, tell us what you think geopolitically, what you think is going to be happening in the calendar year 2015.
Probably not enough, if I can say that. I think the Congress might not put as many things forward for whatever reason, because they think it's not going to be approved, it's not going to be vetoed. And I'm suggesting that they need to put as many things in front of this president as possible and as quick as possible.
So you see, in terms of United States politics, you see as a prediction, sort of a lame duck president and a lame duck Congress. Is that what you're predicting?
No, I don't. He may be a lame duck president, okay, but I don't think he has accepted the fact that he lost this election, and he's very scary. He is going to move forward. He's going to move forward very fast, and the Congress is not anticipating the moves fast enough. They need to get out in front of him instead of being behind him.
Okay, all right, very interesting. Now, what about a resolution? It's, the first of the year, second of the year, everybody says, oh, I want to learn how to cook a certain food, or get back into the gym, or go on a vacation. What does Aileen Milton, hardworking conservative Tea Party activist, what do you want to accomplish personally in 2015?
Well, actually, I'm already starting on developing and increasing and expanding our media program. Just put up a new series called One-on-One Women Trailblazers. And just put it up literally the other day, but my concept is that it expands in 2015, and more and more people start being willing to talk. I think if we're going to go into 2016 and possibly have a woman running on the Democratic ticket, we need to show what conservative women are doing on our side of the aisle, and how we need to influence our younger women to understand we do not need to be dependent on this government, that we're all capable of earning livings and moving forward, and have a lot of great role models.
I thought it was going to be to get one of those upgraded Rolls-Royce golf carts up there.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
it's like
Well, I do have a fundraising idea that I'm working on, and it is going to be hopefully a decorated patriotic golf cart.
Oh, now we're getting
Right.
now we're
somewhere.
getting
Gosh.
somewhere. Yeah,
Not all this serious
Say
stuff.
silly, yeah.
We should tell the folks that up at the villages, they like their golf, and they like their golf carts kind of
even more.
pimped out. Pimp out my golf
We
cart.
do love our golf carts, and the prettier they are, the more praise we get. And
Okay.
let me tell you, if you don't have a dog in the golf cart with you, you're a nobody.
You're nothing. All right, you heard it first from Aileen Milton up in the villages. Thank you very, very much for your amazing work. Give our love and good wishes for 2015 to everybody up there. We'll see you in 2015. You take care now, Aileen, okay? Bye-bye.
God bless you, Tom. Keep up your good work, and hi to all your other friends. And we love your staff. And please, you have an open invitation to come up to the Villages Tea
Thank
Party.
you very much. Happy New Year.
Excellent.
Okay. Happy New Year to you too.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, you guys ready for another controversial newsmaker in our prognostications and resolution part of our happy show for 2015?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get into it today, right now. And this is a two-parter that is showing on the 1st of January and the 2nd of January. We have Skyped in live from Israel, Dr. Martin Sherman, our good friend out there. I was with him just a few weeks ago. We had a nice lunch at the port of Tel Aviv. Dr. Sherman, you are an accomplished academic. You're a writer for the Jerusalem Post. We featured one of your articles recently, Israel's Only Option. As you look at 2015, and thank God we're all here for 2015, what are some of your resolutions? What do you as a person want to accomplish in 2015?
Well, first of all, let me wish all the viewers a Happy New Year. Secondly, as for my resolutions, what I would like to do, and what I've been trying to do for the last year, is to try and impact the discourse, the public discourse in Israel, in a far more assertive and resolute manner than it's being conducted at the moment. I think the discourse in Israel is what basically determines the policy decisions of Israeli politicians, because it determines the perceptions of the constraints and the possibilities that are available to them. I think this discourse has been hijacked by left-wing proponents of appeasement, and one of my resolutions would be is to try and wrest that control away from them and bring it back into a far more resolute and proactive approach for Israel in determining its policy in the coming year.
Okay, hey, that's a pretty heady resolution, and you are an accomplished academician, and you have books behind you and all of that, but we want to get to the heart and soul of Martin Sherman as a person. Don't you want to take off your shoes and run on the beaches in Tel Aviv and let the sand go between your toes? And what do you want to do as a person?
Well, when I was younger and thinner, that was the sort of thing I used to do. Windsurfing, freefall parachuting, and martial arts, and those were the sort of things I was involved with.
Who? You, Dr.
But
Martin Sherman?
I think today I've become far more focused on the issues that I mentioned before, and they seem to have soaked up all my time, so I don't have too much time to wander on barefoot on the beach, unfortunately, because I live next to a really beautiful stretch of beach myself.
All right, well, what we'll do, we will be there in March 21st to the 31st on a fact-finding expedition. We're going to find you and bring you to the beach, and all of us will take our shoes off and run on the sand. How about that?
Well, that sounds
Okay?
that sounds like a challenge. That sounds like
that'll
a challenge.
be good. Now, give us, as we close this segment, give us your prediction for some geopolitical event in 2015.
Well, I think perhaps one of the most overlooked and underestimated dangers that will emerge in the next year, or at least in the coming years, centers on Egypt. I think people don't realize the emerging humanitarian tragedy that's brewing in Egypt, because the Ethiopians have just built a massive dam on the Blue Nile. If they start using that water for irrigating and drastically reduce the flow of the Blue Nile into Aswan and therefore down into Egypt, I think Egypt is going to be in an impossible situation. As far as Israel goes, this of course will impact the kind of energies that they can use to impose law and order in the Sinai Peninsula, because that'll be small potatoes for them compared to what they have to contend with Ethiopia. And unfortunately, I see Sinai descending into a massive area of lawlessness ruled by jihadis, which will threaten Israel's southern, the longest border it has in the south. And I'm sorry to have to end on such a dire and dour note, but I think that's something that has to be watched very carefully.
Okay, that is a dire note, important note. We prefer to run on the beach with no shoes on, but we will be responsible enough to follow that developing situation in Ethiopia and Egypt. Dr. Martin Sherman, thank you very, very much, sir, for all you do for your homeland, Israel, for the United States. We will see you when we're out there, and may God continue to bless your work. You take care.
Thank you very much for having me, and Happy New Year to all.
Happy New Year. Wow, we are getting many of our friends to come in and share their thoughts and feelings about this new 2015. You know, it's interesting. Some of them are taking a very serious approach and explaining, some of the problems out there. And these are concerns for us. And we have somebody right now who's been on the forefront of this for many, many years, spent some time in a federal agency, working, swearing on the U.S. Constitution to defend this country, leaving that agency, the CIA, and then going into the private sector, now working with Center for Security Policy, the VP of all kinds of research and analysis and all of that. Recently came back from Israel, has been to Israel with us. Please give a New Year round of applause. Welcome to our beloved Claire Lopez. Hello, Claire. Hello.
Happy New Year back to all of you.
All right, great. Good to have you here at the beginning of 2015. Let's start off with you're a globalist in the good sense. You have a sensitivity to what's going on geopolitically. What is one of your primary concerns, one of your predictions, something that's going to happen in 2015, whether it's good or bad?
Well, I guess I'm one of the ones that kind of took a more serious approach to looking ahead. And what I see happening in 2015, unfortunately, is further destabilization and increasing global instability across the world. And a lot of that has to do, I think, with the continuing failure and actually withdrawal of U.S. leadership from the world. Not to mention, U.S. switching sides in the war on terror, or what used to be called the war on terror, and its proactive approach to empowering forces of Islamic Jihad and Sharia, including, of course, the Muslim Brotherhood.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was short and to the point. I'm playing in my mind. Look, we know this administration has failed miserably on the foreign policy, national security front.
Yes, they have.
Unless the objective was to equip the bad guy to be stronger in these past 6 years, then they've succeeded
She
mightily.
said
Yeah,
that we
switched
switched
sides.
sides
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
war
yeah.
on terror.
Yeah.
And Claire sees as a predictor, a prophetess, a prognosticator, more of that in 2015. But let's switch gears a little bit, Claire. Now, we know you fairly well here at the United West. We've traveled extensively with you.
We put
around the
chickens in your
country.
We
We put chickens in your bed. It's a whole nother show. It's a whole nother show. But you have a lot of people that read what you write, watch what you produce on video. But some of these people want to know, what is the real Claire Lopez, the human, not the CIA operative, not the think tank vice president, but the woman Claire Lopez. When she's all alone, what are her dreams and aspirations? What's one of her resolutions for 2015?
Well, I'll tell you, my top number one resolution for 2015 is to take a vacation. A real vacation.
A real
Visiting
live
family
vacation.
and friends is great, for Christmas, which we did, but a real vacation. That's my resolution for 2015.
Does Claire leave the country on a real vacation, or does she take her vacations domestically?
We'll have to see, but it's going to be time off.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say I could
just
tell you.
vacation.
I thought you were going to say I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you.
Is it, are you
No.
more the type
We'll
person?
see, but
Are you
you
more?
know, I did just come back from a fantastic trip to Israel, but it was jam-packed with briefings and presentations and trips to important sites.
You got to do a cruise or something like that.
Well, let me ask you, Claire,
We'll see.
is your ideal vacation more just being at home and time off, and you can get up late and you can read books, you can go garden, all that stuff, or does it include the exotic travel and the new places? And what's your preference?
Well, I love traveling to places that I've enjoyed before, maybe overseas, maybe domestically, but just to take time off when I don't have a schedule and I don't have, however many commitments hanging over my head. I'm not going to write. I'm not going to, do any interviews. I'm just going to be on vacation.
Or perform any enhanced interrogations.
Well, I got some ideas for you. My wife has always dreamt on doing a tour on the Orient Express, the train, or also going up to Alaska on a cruise up there. Just a couple ideas. I don't know.
Well, let's do this.
Yeah. Would the chicken go along with you?
Yes, it would.
Let's do this. Let's start at this beginning of the new year for our dear friend Claire Lopez. Let's start the Send Claire Lopez on Vacation Fund.
Yeah,
How about that?
Let's get a Flickr account or whatever they call that. Yeah, get one of those fundraiser
No.
accounts.
We have to get a little taste of this.
Okay.
If you'd like to donate to Send Claire Lopez on Vacation Fund, make your check out to theunitedwest.org, and we will make sure she gets a little something from
She get
that.
a little taste on it, yeah.
And we'll send her to Passaic, New Jersey, or someplace like that.
Scenic Passaic.
I hear there's wonderful halal restaurants in Passaic, New Jersey. So
Can hardly wait.
yeah. All right, Claire, have a wonderful 2015. I'm sure we will be fighting the bad guys side by side, trying to save America, Israel, and the West. And, if anybody can do it, you can.
Thank
See ya.
you. Thank
Okay.
you all.
Take it
Thank
easy.
you. Happy
Bye-bye.
New
Happy
Year.
I got to tell you, we really are having a good time with our special series, January 1, January 2, 2015, our controversial newsmakers, warriors, activists, and our friends. If you've been following the show for the past 2 days, we simply have reached out to some people that are on the front lines fighting in this ideological battle against Islamic Jihad, against the Obama left, and doing phenomenal work. Our next guest, dear friend, not only is on the front lines with his own blog and participating with many organizations, but a few years back, I don't know if you guys know this, a few years back he he put his hand on that Bible and took the oath and said, yes, I'll defend the United States of America. And he did that in the swamplands of Vietnam. And if you go to his home, as I have been there many times, and you walk down the hallway, you see these very interesting little items hanging on the wall. And I said, what the heck is this? And there were some beautiful bronze stars awarded to our next guest for his exploits as a soldier in Vietnam. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Rich Swire, Lieutenant Colonel Rich Swire. How are you today, sir?
Yeah.
I'm doing great, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, you were foundational in helping start the Florida Security Council. Remember those years, Rich?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, those were great times, and they're greater even today.
And they're greater.
You know, one of the things that we're blessed with, Tom, is that every year you've had a greater and greater impact on more and more people, not only within the state of Florida, but across the United States and even globally. And I think that that's the key that we need to all understand. You're making a positive contribution to the national security and safety of not only those of us who have served and those of us who care about those who serve, but for our children and grandchildren. You are making the world safer for all of us.
Well, it's a team effort, and we're privileged to have people like you and the guys in here. One team, one fight. That's our motto. Speaking of looking forward, it's 2015 now. Happy New Year's to you. But let's start with one of your geopolitical predictions. What do you think is going to happen geopolitically, whether in a foreign land or here, in 2015, Dr. Rich Swire?
Well, I think I want to try and make 2015 a positive experience for the people around the world. I believe that there's going to be a growing resistance to what I call the forces of evil, including those not only in the Middle East, such as the Islamic State, but I also believe there's going to be a dramatic push against other forces such as Putin's Russia, and we're going to see people rising up in the streets, as we are already seeing in Germany and other places, to try and right the wrongs that have been perpetrated against them and others. And I think that that's a positive aspect of 2015. We're going to see a growing revolution, if you will, a quiet revolution, to make the world safer against those kinds of people who hate, who are violent, who do things that are just savage. And I always have believed in the great quote by Ayn Rand that if you're going to stand, if it's a choice between the savage and the civilized man, you must stand with the civilized man. And I think the civilized men and women of the world, like you, Tom, and Damon and Mark and others, are making a difference. And I think that's the important part.
Well, I hope you are right in that prediction. A part of me is clapping and cheering as you talk about a revolution of liberty and freedom. The other part of me sees this Islamic State that's just delivering an onslaught and the syndrome of so many jihadis joining and Europe caving in. And but I hope you're right, and we will do all we can to help that prediction come true. But let's look at a resolution now. You've given us your prediction. What's one of your personal resolutions for 2015?
Well, one of the things I did on the 1st of January 2014 was I launched my new online magazine, drrichswire.com. And I wanted to do that so that I could give a voice to my 80 now plus contributors, of which you are one, of course, to a larger audience. And we built that audience right now in just 1 year to over 100,000 readers.
Wow.
What I'm going to do on January the 1st, 2015, is launch another website, if you will, a sister website, that's going to be called fitnaphobia.com. Now, it's not launched yet, but it's going to talk about the mental illness that we're seeing exhibited in places by individuals in places like New York City with the tragic death of the 2 New York City Police Department officers, in Sydney, Australia, in a chocolate shop. And we're seeing with the Islamic State in Syria and Iraq and spreading. Now, I'm also concerned about the Taliban, which are also fitnaphobes. I will begin to create this website to identify for everyone to see fitnaphobes. And I'm going to ask your help, Damon's help, Mark's help, and others to help me identify fitnaphobes, people who either support the Islamic violent doctrine and or turn a blind eye to it, because it's two sides of the same coin. A fitnaphobe could be a person who is a Muslim who becomes violent. It is also a person who is not a Muslim who allows this tragedy, this violence to happen and tries to defend it. So there are two sides to the same coin. And I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to do it in a positive way to try and expose people who are hateful and tell people to be wary of them, to avoid them, and thereby to make them change their ways, hopefully, and become less violent.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. Fitnaphobia.org, is it? A new website, fitna being the internal chaos between Muslims, between Islam, and this internal chaos.
It's kind of what you refer to as Islamic State syndrome.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where they're joining. This is great. It's a great term.
Fitnaphobia.org or .com.
Fitnaphobia. Do you have the other one? You should get all of them.
And also go to drrichswire.com, which everyone will be seeing on their screen.
Great blog. You're doing tremendous work with that. Fitnaphobia.com. F-I-T-N-A, phobia, fitnaphobia.com. We're excited about that. Hey, but Rich, all right, these are like professional goals. We only got about a minute left with you. You've jumped out of airplanes in combat. You've driven fast vehicles. Some little birdie told me you recently got a motorcycle. You have any dreams or aspirations in 2015 with your new bike?
Yeah, I don't want to crash this one like my last one.
Okay. On that happy note, hey, by the way, I'm getting my bike out of the shop. You got your bike, right, Damon?
Oh, God, I see something in the future.
Here we go, man. We go on a jihad run. How about that?
Yeah, I cannot wait to tell my friends they can get all three of you at once.
A counter jihad run. What do you have, Rich? What kind of bike?
All right.
What kind of bike do you have? What?
Go ahead.
What kind of bike do you have? Motorcycle.
Oh, what kind is it?
Yes.
Well, I don't know that I should be promoting. I've always ridden Hondas. I can't afford Harleys or BMWs or Aprilia, so I've always owned a Honda. I've ridden Hondas all my life when I was in the military and since. After I jumped out of perfectly good airplanes, I get on a perfectly good Honda and I crash it. So. Sort of the way you live, it's kind of a life on the edge. My wife doesn't like it. My wife doesn't.
That's her calling right now.
We're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you go. Goodbye, Rich. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Rich.
All right, goodbye. Say goodbye to Rich. Damon, what do you have? You have a motorcycle.
I am not going to say what I have because I don't want to be recognized by the jihadis running around town.
I don't have a motorcycle.
You don't have one.
And I'll be the person calling the ambulance for you and everything.
Well, I have one, and we won't talk about it, I guess. Someday we'll talk about it. Yeah. But right now, it's time for our next guest. This is very cool, man. I'm enjoying this. We have our friends, our newsmakers, our activists, our warriors. And with us right now is Mary Rubiki from
Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. We know that. We've been up there with you, Mary. You handle our United West work up there. Hey, 2015 is going to be a wild year. What is one of your personal resolutions? What are you, Mary, activist, worker, all of that stuff? What do you want to accomplish in 2015?
Well, for 2015, I'm really hoping to be able to get in with some of the pastors here in my community. I've been very involved with a community that's east of me. I'm kind of on the border of two counties, but I'm going to get more involved with this community. I want to get in with the pastors and the law enforcement. I've made two very good contacts that can speak to the Islamic threat, and I want to bring them in and do some training and try to make an impact in that way, because I think the Christian community is really the ones that need to stand out the most now.
That sounds very Islamophobic to me.
That's don't seem to have. Ronnie needs our Skype account. You can, if you can send that to him.
Okay.
That sounds fabulous, and you're such a hard worker, and you have a radio show. When does your radio show go on? Tell the folks so they can listen.
It's on Wednesdays nights from 6 to 7 p.m., 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
On Wednesday nights?
Wednesday nights, the Radio Jihad Network.
First you go to blogtalkradio.com, then you search Radio Jihad Network.
Okay. And what's the name of your show?
My show is Freedom Quest.
Freedom Quest. So put that down. You can listen to Mary every Wednesday. All right, Mary, look, all our friends are like very serious.
I know.
I want to know.
Everyone is so serious.
I want to know in 2015. You live in Savannah, Georgia. Don't you want to, like, in 2015, hit every bar in Savannah or something like that?
At least go ghost house hunting or something.
Yeah, go
the zombie pub crawl.
Yeah, really.
Come on. What do you want to do personally?
I know she already went on the Segways with us.
That's right. You rode on Segways with us. What do you want to do?
Almost killed somebody in that routine.
I know. That was dangerous. What do you want to accomplish personally in 2015?
Personally?
Yes.
I want to probably get to the point where I can be more of a speaker like you, Tom. I have not been very good at speaking in front of crowds. I have stage fright, like you know. So I'm going to try and beat that this year as well.
Okay, get your checkbook out. I will give you personal instructions on how to be an effective speaker. How
Personal
about that?
training? Excellent.
I'll waive the fees for you.
Now,
okay?
I've heard the way to get over your fears of public speaking is imagine the whole crowd is naked. Have you heard that before?
Imagine the whole...
Why would
I've always imagined I was naked. I got it backwards all these years. Mary, 2015, you are on the cutting edge of some of the geopolitical issues that are going on in America and elsewhere. What is one of your predictions in 2015?
Well, I've actually got a couple that go into 2015 and 2016, but I think for 2015, probably the one that bothers me the most that could be quite scary is what is it? And I'm looking at my other computer here, the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations. That's an umbrella organization. I think we're going to see a Muslim candidate for president in 2016.
We already have one in the office.
Well, we have one in office, but we don't have one that admits to being Muslim. I think we have a fully committed Muslim running.
Well, that's an interesting prediction.
Yeah, you heard it first here. Mary Rubiki from
Mary
Savannah.
takes the lead with bold predictions.
That's right.
She's taking the lead. We're going to have a Muslim candidate running for the United States president in November of 2016 through a party.
Which party? Their Islamic party or one of the existing parties?
Well, that's a good question. I think more probably of an independent or a third party coming in as a candidate, running their own candidacy and party, and from this umbrella organization that was created, I think late 2013. They're getting quite a few organizations participating with that and joining in as support.
All right. Well,
it's the alphabet soup of all the Muslim Brotherhood terror orgs got together to form a political party.
Actually, that goes right in line with the Muslim Brotherhood long-term plan.
Yeah,
exactly.
Their project, and it goes in line with a lot of this thinking. It's well, you heard it first here, Mary. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful 2015, and obviously we're going to be doing a lot of work together. Take care now.
You guys keep up the great work, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New
And
Year.
And get a new computer for Skyping, okay?
And don't picture our crowd in underwear.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about,
Don't wanna do that.
that's not a good idea.
Don't want to do that. All right, see you later.
Guys,
Bye-bye.
bye.
All right, Mary Rubiki. Who do we have next? We don't know. You don't answer that.
I just hit stop recording.
Okay. Wow, this is really cool. We have newsmakers, activists, friends, all involved on these 2 days, January 1, January 2, here on WSBR Radio, 740 AM on your dial. Thank you for listening the beginning of 2015, folks. Tom Trento, again, your host, Enemies of the State. We don't have enemies with us today. We have our friends. And with us right now, our dear friend, Ronnie Wexler. Ronnie is the owner of Heritage Study Programs. That's the tour company that we go back and forth to Israel this coming March. In fact, March 21st, Frank Gaffney and I are leading a fact-finding mission to the hot spots in Israel. There are still a few seats left for you to come on. You got to book very, very quickly. And we have the owner of the company right now with us, Ronnie Wexler. How are you at the beginning of 2015?
Well, wonderful. Listening to your voice and the giggles in the studio there, making me feel that the world is still running and there's a chance that we're going to survive. So first and foremost, shalom to everybody. And well, what can I say? I would be a liar to say that I feel terrific about the next year, because I think the prediction that I have, at least the ones that you asked me about, the geopolitical ones, are not that great. I was watching television earlier and today and yesterday, and everybody's predicting how wonderful things are shaping up, and gasoline is bottom rock and rock bottom, and everybody is happy and spending money. Well, I think that the gasoline blessing is going to be a curse, and I think it's going to bankrupt many, many companies in the United States, especially those who are fracking now and getting the oil off the ground would not be able to cope with what's going to be unleashed by Saudi Arabia and other countries. So I think that this euphoria is very short-lived. I also believe that those who are the multimillionaires that make more money in the last couple of weeks probably will continue to make a little bit more money, but everybody else is not feeling it at all. So I'm not as happy as everybody else, and certainly not in the same camp. Personally, again, it's not very personal. I wear two hats, so whatever is good for Israel is good for me. There's election in Israel in March, and as always, you know, the Jews are fighting Jews, and unless we learn from history and mistakes that were made, we are wasting a lot of energy fighting each other. I think some of it is the electoral system in Israel that doesn't allow election that will be more decisive and give somebody a lot of power. But that's what it is. It is what it is, and I hope for the best. I hope Likud in Israel is going to gain momentum again, and Netanyahu, in my view, is the only one that can manage to govern the country. Know him pretty much for the last 20 years of my life in a more intimate even way. So I wish that would be the result of the election.
Right.
On a very personal note, I'm glad to tell you that I have a new granddaughter.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
And now I'm a grandfather to three, so I start to feel a little bit like you. And
So dirty diapers are in your future next year, huh?
Dirty diapers in his future. On a personal note, you gave us very sobering information on the gasoline situation and the elections, and that's a great news about your family. What about you personally? I mean, you're very health conscious. We know that. Do you want to increase your jogging every day? Do you want to, learn how to cook good Italian food? Anything you as a person, Ronnie Wexler,
Or
what
run
do you want to
barefoot
do?
on the beach, yeah?
Yeah, run barefoot on the beach at Tel Aviv.
As you recall, in July, I actually was Skyping to the world from the beach of Tel Aviv. I would like to tell everybody that this is still probably safer in Israel than it is in the United States. Certainly, it is safer than certain part in New York in the last week or so. I believe that you and the gang there, myself, and those who are joining us now to go to Israel, we will have a great time there. We had a great time in the past. We actually truly visit all the hotspots of Israel. None of them are risky to visit. You, Tom, been there just a couple of weeks ago, so you felt firsthand.
I'm back. I'm alive. Everything's fine. Yeah.
Come back as the messengers of goodwill. You come back as an ambassador of Israel. So my wish for everybody that I take to Israel, and I've taken hundreds, thousands of people, is that each and every one of them will come with the truth, the way he understands it or she understands it from Israel. And instead of reading into the lines of newspapers or listening to the pundits on television, go see for yourself. Come back with your own ideas about what Israel is all about. One thing I can say, and I will never regret saying it, and no matter what platform it is, Israel is doing the work of the United States of America.
Absolutely.
In fact, Israel is doing the work of the world. Israel is now confronting ISIS and Hezbollah and Hamas and everybody else in between. Israel is doing the job. If Israel wouldn't have been there, somebody else would have to be there, and I had to tell you, it would have been America all over again. So at least we're doing a good job, and I hope everybody can appreciate what Israel is doing in the Middle East. And the only way to really appreciate is to see it.
To come out there
and
with
I
us.
invite every one of the audience today to come with us to Israel in March and spend 10 days with us. You come back like you never understood that it is even possible. You go and you come back not as you went. You really understand Israel 100%. You understand the problems of Israel, and the problems of Israel are the problems of the world.
Absolutely.
So if we are here to try to solve or to understand, then the only way to do it is to come to Israel to understand firsthand what's going on, see, mingle, and get the information from all those experts that we are going to be meeting, and mingle, just mingle
and
with
we
the
will do
Israelis
that.
as we do when we
and-
go to Israel.
and
I
we
wish you
will.
all come with us.
And it's going to be a phenomenal trip. Ronnie, we got to get going, but thank you very, very much for your dire predictions on the gas situation in Saudi Arabia and your concern about the election. But on a very upbeat note, the fact that on March 21st, we are going, you, me, Frank Gaffney, the guys in here, a bunch of people, about 30 or 40 of us. There's still room. Contact me, Tom, at theunitedwest.org, and we'll give you all the information. Ronnie, thanks. You have a wonderful new year. We'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year. Now, bye-bye. Ronnie Wexler, ladies and gentlemen, we've had him in studio. We've been in Israel with him. Absolutely amazing guy indeed. You know what? I think our wonderful viewing and listening audience, more so the viewers, though the listeners too, ought to, as we start 2015, see who the hell is behind the camera.
Do we really want the jihadis to see who's behind the camera, Tom?
Get up here. You guys are in the public eye. Come on up. Join the party, the New Year's party. Here we have, who's that? Imam Abdullah, Damon over here. Here's Mark. Come on in. All right. Say hello to everybody.
It is backwards.
Look,
it looks backwards.
I know.
It's
Why?
backwards. Is that what you look at all the time?
This is
How
the.
do you do this? How do you do this? God,
This
weird,
is the
man.
stuff I got to deal with.
My left and right arms.
You know what? You need to go back there and work that.
Everything's
thing back there,
opposite. You want to switch positions?
It's like you're. Oh wow.
Well, and
Crazy.
look, you're looking at the
straight
monitor.
side.
Don't look there. You got to look at the camera right there. Mo, Larry, Curly. Good Good night, everybody. We'll see you. Bye. Who's going to shut the camera off?
I don't know. You need to run back there and shut the camera off. We're on this side of it.
Goodbye. Goodbye.